Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from her Homestead Skills, and welcome. I haven't disappeared off the face of the earth. I've actually been very, very busy, and it has, I think we both had a holiday, both the US and Canada. Canada had Victoria Day, and the US just celebrated Memorial Day. And I understand that there has been a lot of people traveling and trying to fire up the grill and noticing how expensive everything is this year. And we ourselves have really done nothing special for Victoria Day, I don't believe. No, we didn't. We didn't really celebrate it in any way, shape, or form. But I have been extremely busy with the garden, and I have planted well over 100 tomato plants, which I'm happy with. Hopefully they will all survive. I've planted all kinds of peppers and other vegetables. My spinach looks like it's coming up nicely. Unfortunately, I just threw seed down on one plot, and along with the spinach, you know, when you turn a plot, you also encourage other seeds to germinate. So yesterday I was actually very gingerly picking out some of the weed seeds from some of the spinach, and it's coming along, definitely coming along. And I've planted a little bit of potatoes, 2 rows, and I may expand that to 4. I did try to go out to buy a 50-pound bag of potato, as I stated in my one of my previous videos. I was going to can up a very large amount of potatoes, and I know of a place where I can get 50 pounds. Unfortunately, all they had was the Yukon Gold, and that's not really, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Yukon Gold, it's just not a favorite of either Mark or myself, so there's no point in getting those. If they'd had a 50-pound bag of the red, I would have bought them, but they didn't. And, you know, the white potatoes is what we normally purchase here. The russets are awesome for fries, so, but not canned fries. So, but I still would have purchased russet and canned them up, but not as fries. And because they do break down a little bit more because they're very starchy. So when you are canning French fries, you want a potato that'll hold together a little bit more. So either a white, red, or actually even the Yukon Gold will hold up better than the russet if you're going to can French fries. So, but I'm going to go someplace else. I'm sure that there is another place where I can buy that. And I'm also tempted to purchase some wheat berries. I don't have a means of grinding them, and the mill's the one that I want is very expensive. It's at least $400, and that's for the manual one. That is the one that I determined I will buy when I do buy it, and so I'm not going to settle for something that I don't want just to be able to have a mill to grind wheat berries. But I may buy the wheat berries and store them. I understand that properly stored they can last for many, 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 many years, much longer than flour. And you know, flour in this home is an issue because we do eat a lot of pasta. I make bread, and as far as pasta, I make all kinds of pasta, whether it's lasagna, linguine, spaghetti, and I was telling Mark that I should make some, what do you call them? That I should make some gnocchi. I haven't made any in a long time, and what gnocchi is a potato and dough mixture, basically, and they're little dough balls of potato and dough. And I could make a bunch of those, and once again freeze them and just pull out a very small amount to eat for dinner. They are very filling. You don't want a lot of them for a meal. We are also I don't know if it's summer or just we both want to watch our weight just a little bit. We're cutting down on the quantity of pasta that we eat per serving, not so much that we're cutting down on how often we eat pasta, but just the size of the serving and trying to have a little bit more meat and a salad to go with it, rather than just so much pasta that you fill up and you can't eat the meat. And yes, it is summer. It is time for more salads, fresh salads, and hopefully the garden will produce some of those as well. I still have serious concerns about the economy. I don't see that things are getting any better. As a matter of fact, they're likely going to get a whole lot worse before they get better. Gas prices are still going up, and in Canada, the central bank is raising interest rates again by a half point, and they just raised it by a half point, about a week ago? Maybe just a little over a week ago. So that's pretty hefty increase, and that's to try and curb inflation. And really the big issue here all along was housing prices were just totally out of control. But what with everything else going on, with gas prices going up, now everything's out of control. Prices are just skyrocketing everywhere, and obviously it hurts the person with the smallest income. And so I am rethinking some of my canning that I plan to do in the next little while. I have, Mark has finally slowed down on his chicken stock drinks in the morning, and but I'm thinking now, I know that when I have made some of the chicken stock with those chicken carcasses that I buy, that I was throwing away a lot of meat. They don't appear to have a lot of meat when you put them in the water to boil, but when you go to strain them, you realize how much meat there still is on those. So I'm considering, rather than making stock, continuing to buy those, but perhaps making a serious batch of chicken soup and chicken vegetable soup, like some with vegetables, some with just the stock, so that it can be chicken noodle soup, so I can have a variation. But I'll see how the first batch goes, and then we will determine how much of that I plan to make. I'd like to make other soups, but right now I'm just going to focus on maximizing what I can get from those chicken carcasses, because they are a buy, and there does seem to be plenty of meat on them. So have to learn how to do with less. Now, I'm one of these people, I hate to say it, but I could live off porridge and peanut butter sandwiches. Doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. I could live off very little. But Mark likes his meat, and I think a lot of men, and most men do. So we definitely have to have meat in this home. And and speaking of which, yes, he's been on fishing trips, and he has brought home some catch. And yeah, we've had fish for dinner a number of times. Unfortunately, we still keep getting told that there's going to be food shortages, and yet people are just ignoring it. And I have no idea why that's happening. So I have spent, as I said, the last little while just getting my garden planted and cleaning up, doing some spring cleaning around here, and reorganizing things and seeing if there's places that I can find to store more food. There always is if you look for it. Okay, with all that being said, obviously I am growing a garden to be able to eat fresh out of the garden, as well as to put up any excess that I get from there. Okay, so I've always counted how many jars of tomatoes do I want for the year. Now, I may have to start rethinking that process and using it for other things like potatoes. And of course the dry goods, I have more than adequate supply of just about everything I could think of: sugar, salt, oatmeal, flour, rice, beans. I think I have everything that I need there for a while. Doesn't mean I shouldn't get any more. Okay, so that gets me down to making a list. I have to make a list to determine what I need to can, and I have cleaned out and reorganized the little pantry that I use, the closet that I use as a pantry, and I will no longer be putting my tomatoes in there. I'll find another place to put tomatoes so that I can access all my other preserves fairly easily. And I have things, I just have to go through that list and see what needs to be replenished and what I have plenty of, and things like pickles and sauerkraut. Probably have to make more of that, but that'll come in the fall. It is time to make a list and determine what we need and do it for at least to last a year and longer if possible this time around, because anything that you don't buy now you're going to be buying later and it's going to cost you more. Okay, this is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to catch you on the next one. Bye for now.